All right, so I'm at a place called Fitzgerald Marine Reserve, and I've painted out here before. What I like about this location is there are a bunch of trees by the ocean. The only challenge is getting enough distance on the trees so that I can fully get them into the composition. So let me show you what I'm looking at. You can see here there's some really tall trees. I don't think I could get those in without, you know, like sort of a panoramic in a vertical format. But I like this tree right here. Some cool shadows on the ground. And there are definitely some interesting shadow patterns, but there's not a lot of color when you're looking towards the light. I definitely like this sort of view, and I want the ocean in the background. This is kind of a cool place though. There's just this endless row of cypress trees going off into the distance. I'm actually using the shadow of this tree to make sure that my palette is not in the direct light. Okay, so I spent a lot of time out here, you know, just kind of taking pictures with my phone, trying to come up with a composition that I was excited about. And what I really feel is important is simplicity. And oftentimes when you're painting in nature, things just seem too complicated. So what I'm gonna go with here is just a very simple idea. I think that usually makes for a much stronger painting. So that's the theory. We'll see if it works out. Cadmium yellow lemon, titanium white, cadmium yellow medium, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and dioxazine purple. And there's the scene I'm looking at. There's some problems here, like this tree going off like this, and these going off like this. Not crazy about that. You know, that sort of repeating pattern. I'm thinking I might cut it off here and here and just focus on these shadows that are on the ground and the tree trunks. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I don't like how it kind of meets this tree right at the top of the frame. If, you know, if it were like that, that might be better. Or even, that's probably better yet. But those are adjustments I can make, you know, during my sketch. All right, so I'm using Liquin as my medium. This is Liquin Original. And as usual, I'm gonna start off laying in my darks, and I'm using ultramarine with alizarin crimson. And I'll kind of mix it together and then dip in, not exactly like that, but I'm holding the camera with one hand, so anyway. And I'll just loosen it up a bit. And you can kind of see it's pretty loose. And I can also use some odorless mineral spirits to thin it even more if I need to. All right, so here's what I got so far, and like I said, just a very simple idea. You know, trees and their shadows, sky, ocean. All right, so I'm gonna mix up some sky color. I've got a little Liquin here, and I've made a mixture of ultramarine, white, and a little bit of phthalo. And I need a lot more white because the sky is the lightest part of the painting. All right, so now I'm going to mix up the water. Obviously you can see that it's a little bit darker in value than the sky. Here I've got ultramarine and a little bit of phthalo and lemon yellow, and then I'm adding a little bit of white to it right here. Okay, I'm using burnt sienna and white. And then I've mixed in a little bit of this, you know, my dark mixture in there to gray it down. But this will be the light portion of the ground over here. Now I'm going to reinforce the dark on the trees, and then I'll just kind of keep adjusting things. I'm keeping it really sketchy. All right, so to do the dark portion of the trees here, as you can see, I really need to get some high contrast. Not as high of contrast as it's showing up on the camera, but I definitely like this strong dark and light pattern. So the darks that I lay into the tree, I'm going to use a couple synthetic flats, and this is a number 4 and a number 6. They're fairly small, but as you can see, this would be nice to get different, you know, you can actually get some solid strokes in there. Okay, and for the dark portion of the tree, I think I'm going to use ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. The highest value is the sky, so I'm going to lighten up the sky. And then also, it seems to be that the ground is lighter over to the left. So I think I am going to stop here. And I noticed out in the ocean that it was much warmer. There was more yellow closer to the cliff here. So I kind of exaggerated that. And then what else? Also sort of exaggerated the yellow or the warmth on the ground. It was definitely grayer in color, but I really wanted to get that light effect that I was feeling out here. I think the key to keeping your paintings loose is to just start with a simple idea and stick with it. You know, don't try to get too complicated. And that's it. So as usual, thanks for hanging out, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you'd like to help support the channel, there's a Patreon link down below. Got some additional videos on there, materials list, that sort of thing. So stay creative, and I'll see you guys in the next video.